Hi there. Today is day 39, getting closer to that halfway point. I've got a bit of a flu. Today was not such an active Korean learning day. In language learning, once you start down a path, you tend to follow in that path. So yesterday I started listening to articles on Echo Moskwy about the situation in the Ukraine, and there's so many over the last few days that I spent, I guess, must have been 3 or 4 hours today listening to and reading articles in on Echo Moskwy and also looking up information on Wikipedia and elsewhere. By the way, Wikipedia, I'm going to donate money to Wikipedia. I have been critical of them in the past because they rather arbitrarily decided that Link couldn't have a little stub on Wikipedia, whereas, you know, Link, whoever else, Rosetta Stone did. But I think it's very good the way everyone who posts an article there can expect that article to be criticized, reviewed, added to, amended. And I think the net result is actually quite good information. In many ways, better, certainly, than the average newspaper article or even, quote, peer reviewed academic treatise where there's far more slanted opinions. And they're remarkably quick at updating it. So good for them, and there's a lot of useful information. And I will do a separate video on this whole Ukrainian situation, which I think is extremely important to the world. However, today, what I did manage to do in my Korean, because as much as I was motivated to learn more and more about the Ukrainian situation, which I didn't really understand, I still tore myself away from it to get in some Korean, because you have to do some every day, or at least in something like this challenge where I'm trying to get my intensity level up, I want to do something every day. So I went through a few articles on Link, both on the computer and on the iPad, but a little bit tired with the flu. And yesterday I had a conversation with one of our Korean tutors at Link, and I got all my endings mangled. And I particularly had trouble with the way they express the negative in Korean. And so I went back to this book, which was my Japanese book on Korean grammar, and it's divided up into sections. And there is a section on the negative, so I went in, and they have so many examples there. They're limited in terms of explanations, just examples. So there's so many different ways in Korean to express the negative. I went over those, so I did a bit of that review. Haven't done a lot of listening. Might have got an hour and a half in. If I feel up to it, I might do a little more Korean after dinner. So basically, that's it. As I've said before, on the one hand, if I just continue my listening and reading, of course my speaking suffers. Tomorrow, for example, I'm speaking with Joo Hyun at 10 o'clock. I was going to, and I think I still will, video it and show you whether I've made progress or not since the last time. But when we speak, like when I was speaking to the editor at the Jungang Ilbo, when we're concentrating on communicating and we're not thinking so much about trying to get this right or that right, we actually do better. Once I start thinking about how do I form the negative, then all of a sudden I get tongue-tied and I can't do it. And of course that bothers me. But I know from experience, if I just kept listening and reading, I'd eventually get better and I'd accumulate more vocabulary. So there's part of me that says, forget it, just continue listening and reading. You'll eventually get there. But then I say, tomorrow I'm going to be talking to Joo Hyun, so I want to review get back in the book and review it. Whether that helps me or not, I'm not entirely sure. It might make me more self-conscious and I'll end up doing more poorly. I don't know. Anyway, that's a brief description of what my day was like today on day 39. Bye for now.